Hey guys, it's SJ and this is a bonus baby name video for Christmas. Today's one is just for fun and basically we are going to be answering some of the internet's toughest baby name dilemmas. So I do baby name lists every single Monday on YouTube. I'm also a baby name expert for a big website called Channel Mum and I report on baby names in the press. So if somebody's going to have an opinion, it's probably me, and you guys are also amazing at names and big name enthusiasts. So I think that we can help people out. I think we should do this. I feel like this is our Christmas gift to these poor people on the internet who are having huge baby name issues. They're begging, they're asking for help. Over on Reddit, I've become obsessed. It is my guilty pleasure, Reddit. If you've not been on it, it's basically a website where people upload their sort of questions and their issues and other people get to solve them. And I'm all there for that. It's a bit like a sort of true crime. I love true crime. Obsessed with true crime, obsessed with Ellen and Neil. And I feel like this is kind of like our chance to solve these baby name crimes against humanity. Am I over-egging it? Am I? I don't think so. I will read out the dilemma and then in the comment section below, let's just go and give them some good advice. Oh, we're gonna love this one because it's about Harry Potter. And I was laughing last week because I basically tried to jump in some Harry Potter facts in my baby name videos and I always get them wrong. Even though I do love Harry Potter, it's just if you piss off a Harry Potter fan, you're basically gonna get slaughtered in the comments. Woman's terrible Harry Potter inspired baby names for twins spark huge row with her best friend. So this was the post written by the best friend. My friend, let's call her Nicola, wanted to keep the baby names a secret as everyone knows the gender of the babies and she's got a scheduled C-section, so she just wanted that one element of surprise. Totally get it. You want to, if everyone knows you're having twins in the day, you want to be able to like have something special to announce. That seems right. She's also a huge Harry Potter fan. Fine, so she's hinted at possibility of there being a link. So we also expected a Harry Potter name in there. I wonder if she's watched my Harry Potter themed baby name list. Am I responsible for this fallout? Anyway, she was too excited to keep it any longer. She rang me to ask me if I wanted to know the name she had chosen. She's all excited, brings her very best friend in the world to give her this special information that she's been keeping secret. So I guess it's just you want somebody to share in your excitement as well, don't you, when you're giving a baby name. I think that if you can't be excited, you do have to, if you don't like it, you can discourage it gently if they give you two options. But if they're like, this is what we're naming the baby, you kind of got to go with it. So friend says, oh yeah, I'd love to know. So I haven't seen these before. So she wants to call them Albus, Tony and Severus Callum. Albus and Severus for twins. Twin boys, Albus and Severus. It's not the most subtle Harry Potter link. So she just said, wow, and apparently her friend was absolutely fuming and said, thanks for that, I can tell you hate them. Thanks for ruining this memory for me, this moment for me, and hung up the phone. So her friend is now saying she feels awful. She tried to apologise and says she does like the names, but I didn't manage to control my reaction. I've ruined a moment that she's wanted and waited so long for. And apparently her other half is saying she's not an asshole because the names are stupid and what do people think. So there's a few things here. The names themselves, Albus and Severus. Albus I can get on board with. I think Albus is, it's got a lot of heritage. I can't remember the name meaning of it, but I've said it in a video before, I'm sure. Something around Christmassy, isn't it? Albus. And I think it's really cute. Severus, I don't even know if it makes sense as a massive name. Obviously it is a name. J.K. Rowling was brilliant at picking the names, but Severus, it's not got much modern appeal. It's not like, Albus, you could be like, it's Albie. But Albus and Severus is so obviously Harry Potter. I know these babies are being born in like 2021, but Harry Potter has just not gone anywhere. And it's just so obvious. But, when you think about it, people nowadays, if you had kids called like Harper and Atticus, like after To Kill a Mockingbird, those names have become so popular. Do we know it as much if you don't study it? Or is Harry Potter going to be vintage for those kids when they get there? But I guess the thing is her friend's reaction, and was she horrible to do it? I think if she's her best friend and she had thought that this was going to be a Harry Potter theme to it, she should have just been a bit more prepared. She should have prepared herself a bit more mentally to be, you might think your friend's joking, but when you're hormonal and you're pregnant, people's opinions, what they say, you never forget it, do you? You've had people, I had a random girl at work and she one time said to me, is it normal to be that big at this far along in your pregnancy? I literally can't stand that girl. Like, she later announced her pregnancy. She's not going to get a like from me on Facebook because of that one comment that hit me in a really tough day, and I just thought, how dare you? And actually, it really hurts when you're pregnant. It hurts double deep, I would say. It's a shame it's a rift between friends. Let me know what you think. How could she repair the situation? I think that's the thing we could help with, is the repair. Maybe some Harry Potter themed baby grows. Maybe recommend you have like a Skype call where you watch the movie together live and write down other names, or do a fun baby shower game about Harry Potter names. Maybe she'll gently fall in love with something less obvious. I think that was a really good idea. Okay, this next one is a Christmas themed one, so we need to get in there fast. With help for this poster on Reddit, pregnant woman banned from family Christmas after row erupts over her unborn baby's name. I mean, she's probably in tier 4 anyway, so who cares? But she could be anywhere in the world, I guess. So a mum-to-be's sister is urging her to reconsider her unborn baby's name. So let's see what we think. Let's give them both a piece of our advice. So the anonymous woman is 27, explained that she and her 25-year-old partner are expecting a baby girl in January. I thought I was going to say she and her 25-year-old sister. That's why I said and, but just fine. So this doesn't sound too bad so far. So despite the birth being a few weeks ago, they've picked the name. Very normal. They've decided to call the little one Romelia, a combination of two names in their family. That's nice. Romana and Camelia. So I guess these are like Italian names. Camelia was the woman's grandmother who's passed away, and Romana was her partner's cousin who they've also passed away. So that's nice and normal. Romelia. I like that. I think that's thoughtful, isn't it, to pick the names. But so despite the sweet sentiment, the expectant mum's sister says she should name her daughter something more modern. I thought her sister was going to be annoyed that she has sort of claimed the dead relative. That's a really harsh way of saying it, but in our family we have, you know, like a few special great-grandparents, one called Daisy, and when somebody's chosen the name Daisy, it's like, oh, so now I can't be the one to honour that relative because you've kind of pinched the name, the namesake. So the woman's point of view is that her sister's naming their daughter after dead people she'll never meet, and the name sounds old-fashioned and she needs to fit in more people her age. I've never heard somebody say not to call them after dead people they'll never meet, because passing names through generations in a family is a pretty traditional way of keeping people's heritage alive. So that seems a very strange opinion to me. She said she tried to limit contact with her sister about it. Oh, so the sister said she's not changing the name. She started screaming that I was no sister of hers and I was disrespecting the family. Well, for not taking your sister's point of view on the name. Disrespecting the family, is that because you're using the aunt's name? I think she's got more deeper feelings than this just being a modern name. I think she's got some beef with her sister. Maybe she's got having like the first baby in the family and it's going to be like the first grandchild, and she's taking this really like almost worthy high ground of choosing the two passed away relatives, and the baby's going to be super special. Maybe she's a bit like, not jealousy, but a bit of kind of like, you know, you're being the golden child about it. So she went on to reveal that her wider family now want to ban her from the Christmas video call because she's caused so much drama with her baby name. So the pregnant woman is getting banned from the Christmas video call because of the baby's name, because she's caused the drama by choosing a baby name. I don't think so. So speaking about her sister, the pregnant woman said, I worry that my baby name has had a severe impact on my sister. Although I don't believe myself is at fault, everyone in my family is treating me like it is. I don't think it is your fault. I think you've chosen a name, you've put thought into it, you and your partner agree on it. I think your sister's got other issues, something about maybe your happiness, or I don't know if your sister's older or younger, or she's struggling to have a baby, but it's probably got something more to do, being my amateur sleuth psychologist. I have followed a few psychologists on Instagram. I know what I'm talking about when I say it's probably to do with her feeling a little bit left behind in the mumhood, but I'm surprised your family's rallied around the sister. So that makes me also think that the family is trying to protect her feelings in some way. They probably know she's being ridiculous and know that this is probably just some other trigger. I feel really, really sorry for you that you're pregnant. It's a baby's name. If you hadn't have said it before the baby was born, when the baby was there, were they just going to cut you out of the family with your newborn baby because they didn't like her name? Sorry, they don't get a choice. They don't get to pick the name. And I think you've done a beautiful thing by honouring people in both sides of the family and come up with a really thoughtful name. I would not change the name. Would you guys change the name? I would ring up and say, I'm changing the name. This is what I would do. What if I say her sister's name is Sharon, I would ring up and say, I'm changing the name. I totally agree. I'm going to call her Sharonella. And then use your sister's name in the same way, and then I reckon she would go through the roof fuming. How annoyed would she be? That's what I would do. Or a combination of your sister and her husband's name so they could never use it. I would just go evil with it. I would say that I was going to, and that would make me feel better. Okay, last one. This is back to Reddit again. So we're going to solve this guy's dilemma. This is a guy who's asking, am I wrong for choosing a baby's name that offends my mother-in-law? So they've chosen the name, they really, really like it. So they've just had their first child, it's all been an adjustment due to COVID, we know that, really, really hard, but they're doing really well, but something is really draining the joy away. And if you're doing that to somebody about their name, how awful are you as a person in general? So the chosen middle name is Anne. She's called Fiona Anne. I mean, that just seems like a normal name. Middle name Anne, that is after his own grandmother. Lovely. Again, naming people after people shouldn't be so controversial, but the mother-in-law said she was deeply hurt and betrayed that they had chosen the middle name Anne because it was somebody in her past who she hated. So she hated Anne and now can't get past it to the point where it has driven a wedge between her and her child because the grandchild's middle name is Anne and she can't, she's fuming. So who knows what Anne did? Maybe he's going to tell us a little bit. She will not talk to us. She will not get over it. She's blocked our numbers. When I tried to text her baby pictures, they're never delivered and she's telling everyone in their circle how hurt she is by them. So did they know about Anne? I mean, is it like naming after your arch enemy? Like, we've probably all got an arch enemy, do we? I'm trying to think, do I have an arch enemy who I would be really offended if my sister chose the name of, for example? Like, I wouldn't be too impressed if she chose like the name of like Henrik's ex-girlfriend or something. If she knew them, I would be a bit like, that's a bit off. But would I never talk to her again? She thinks I chose the name on purpose. So here's where it comes to. It's the sort of intention behind it and that it was a power move or a slight to her. But it's not, it is my grandmother's name because she was always important to me. I mean, surely she knows that grandma trumps random, horrible old person in your past. Surely. Evil Anne, so he has gone on to say, because everyone was like, well, who is Evil Anne? We need to know, because if Evil Anne was like the woman who ran off with her husband when she had to bring up her children by herself, then yeah, I would just kind of go bit off to use Anne, potentially. So let's see, she was in fact my mother-in-law's own evil mother-in-law. No way. So, oh, they had a huge falling out following a messy divorce 25 years ago. So when she divorced her husband, the mother-in-law, Anne, was awful to her. But they had no knowledge of that and no association with the name Anne themselves. The younger couple didn't know about this, had never met their sort of paternal grandmother on that side due to the divorce, so had never understood the name Anne was so terrible. I mean, I think at some point you're going to have to know that it's not a slight against you. Like, why take everything so personally and about yourself? You might be a little bit hurt and choose not to use the name, but it is a middle name. It's not the first name. The mother-in-law is apparently happily married to a new man for the last 10 years. She should be over this by now. She creates drama any chance she gets, and I normally bend to her will and avoid being part of it, but this time I put my foot down. And so you should, don't you think, guys? So they should. I mean, if somebody always creates drama over anything, I think there is a thing in people, when somebody's having a happy time or gets some success, they judge themselves in that light and try to bring them down a bit. It's like, I'll bring you down a peg or two, even when you've just had a baby. To to be honest, people, you'll see the happiness, you'll see the happy pictures, you'll see this joy, and we've never been happier, and look how cute. But once you become a mum, or you've been a mum, you know that is a slice of finding the positive in what is otherwise a really, really, really difficult time. And I feel really sorry that the mother-in-law is going to miss out on her granddaughter because of her weird obsession with her own mother-in-law. That is sad. That is sad, is my opinion. So what should they do? I think let her stew on it. Don't talk badly about her to your daughter, you know, show her pictures of her grandma and be really positive. You know, if this feud goes on for say 5 years, you know, you can always put little presents and say, you know, from grandma, you know, or talk about her nicely, and don't let this cycle of kind of bitterness pass down to little Fiona Ann. She would hate to be, you know, the horrible thing is that it's like blaming the child, almost, their existence for the rift. Getting on my high horse. It's getting dark over here in Sweden. I'm going to end on a funny one. I think this is funny. I haven't read it all the way through yet, just because that one kind of got, you can tell, I've obviously got issues. Evil Anne. Let me tell you a story about Evil Anne. Okay, so am I the asshole for making this joke about my sister-in-law's baby name? Okay, so my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, she's pregnant with her first child. That's nice. They're over at their house for some socially distanced burgers and cheesecake. I like the information. Burgers and cheesecake. That doesn't seem to go together to me. I don't know why. Feels like burgers is more casual. Cheesecake is like you've had to put a lot of effort into making a cheesecake. But maybe they bought the cheesecake. Maybe they bought the cheesecake and the others have made the burgers. And the topic of names came up. So the husband's last name, or the boyfriend's last name, is Bick. B-I-C-K, Bick. So that's going to be the baby's last name. So then this girl, the sister-in-law, made a bit of an ill-advised joke which has caused the rift. So I think this joke is quite funny. So she said, how about the name Brittany? And the sister-in-law was like, I don't know, it seems a bit outdated, maybe it's a bit old-fashioned. And she said, yeah, but then you can go, it's Brittany Bick. And they didn't find this funny. I guess maybe they're sensitive about their surname or something. Got really frosty. The whole burgers and cheesecake party ended on a sour note, and they haven't spoken since. It's been really, really awkward. They basically were like told to leave. It was really obvious that it's Brittany Bick had really upset them. So she wasn't going to use the name Brittany because she said it was old-fashioned and out of date, but she got really offended by them taking the piss out of the surname, I guess, or taking the piss out of the baby in general, the name. People are very, very sensitive. When you're with a pregnant person, basically imagine, I can't even describe to you, like, how sensitive you can be one day on your period, one day when you're pregnant, like, and those grudges do last. As I said earlier. So what would you do? Would you continue to try to make it funny to get over it? Because I would have a tendency to do that, like send them a few little memes, mock it up as a baby grow, like, I don't know, to try to get them to see the funny side of it. Or would you just genuinely say, I'm super duper sorry, I felt like that was really offensive. Thinking back, I would say this, thinking back, I realised, oh, the Christmas lights just came up. They really like this idea. Thinking back, I think that it was insensitive of me. It just came out as a joke. What names do you have? And then maybe suggest 2 or 3 that go with Bick, like Angelica Bick. Isn't that somebody famous? Maybe suggest a few, like I love this name with that. So do some thoughtful research into names. That would go down very well with me. And open up that conversation. So you address it, say, I feel like I've really been offensive. I've been thinking back and I really shouldn't have said that. I don't know why. Maybe it was the cheesecake talking after all those burgers. It was a little bit heavy and I came out with this joke. I'm sorry, but I do have been thinking since then about the names and what about these names? And then hopefully that might draw her back out. You just need to make her feel safe in your company again, and that it was, make sure to say sorry, because the sorry will also stick. So if you've made a mistake with a pregnant woman, they'll remember it forever. But if you say sorry, they'll equally remember it forever. What do you guys think? I think that's good advice, but what do I know? I make baby names on the internet. Right, Merry Christmas, guys. I'm going to do a few more bonus baby name videos coming up. So don't forget to hit the little bell if you're a subscriber. If you know a friend you think might like these name videos for 2021, somebody who's having a baby, do share with them. Do join in the comment section below. Listen out because there's so much more to come. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.